Hello, greetings, this is Gilles Mention. I come to send greetings and blessings today for this Sunday, January 21st. I hope you're enjoying those times of transformation, for we are moving into something that is really new. We're gonna be in February. We'll definitely bring some change into life. We've been asking for change, for the change the universe has heard our demands, and the change will come. It is a slow process, but expect the unexpected. For the situation is right now is the actor, is about the ability to change the role that we play until we are no longer needing to play a role. We become ourselves. For in many sense, what we need to know is to know ourselves, to know God, and to know our relationship to our source. From once we have resolved this relationship, we are able to open our heart and start receiving this energy from the source, and there is no more need for playing any act. Yet understand, life is a stage, and so you are an actor, and whatever role you choose to play, it will be part and integrated within the stage. So it is important to know that it's okay to play whatever role at whichever time it is, but it is not. We are not the role we play. We are just participating in that sense. What is in the invisible world is purity. Purity is the ability to purify, is to go through an open window, to see the light, to find the balance within things, the integration, the harmony. And what we see in the physical plane is the sun, it is the abundance, the riches, it is the joy, it is happiness, it is all of those wonderful things. Epicure was the first philosopher that thought that happiness was the highest aspiration for human existence. And so ever since, the sense of what makes us happy has varied from time to time. But in many sense, true freedom is really what we seek, and that true freedom has to come from within. It is born from the security of love. That is what our brother and friend Adama, from the master of Telos, came to remind us. It was a few years ago. It was really about this true freedom that comes from within. We have to learn to tame those energies and to get used to that harmony, that vibration of freedom, and to allow all of the old to disappear within the dust band of history. For what we are studying now is equilibrium. It is balance, it is sharing, it is about enjoying this every step of within that love frequency. And what's coming up as a result of that research is that we will be able to process sorrow. For sorrow has to be integrated. We cannot, as long as we feel negative emotion, it is because we need to process them. Once they will be processed, there will be no more regret or longing or anything like that. For all has to be, the thing is that with sorrow is not to dwell on it, is to allow it to traverse you, to flow through you, but not to be rejected. If we reject those bad feelings, then we submerge them, and they will be re-emerging, to accept and wonder and say, well, I am ready to release that feeling, that emotion, to heal that connection, to heal that possibility. Please, God, provide me the circumstances, the understanding, the completion within me, so that those situations may be healed. For as we ask, we will receive, but we have to be clear in relationship to what we want. Because many times we are asking one thing in half of the time, and we're asking the opposite thing half of the time. So the universe and life is always like, what are we going to bring them? And we'll come to realize strength from that we'll draw great strength. There is always new strengths to be discovered within oneself. For true strength is like freedom. It is not something that is applicable on the outside. It is something that we find within ourselves, and that is how really the true freedom lies, is within the acceptance of life, the acceptance of the good of life, and to allow ourselves to feel our pain if necessary. For our pain will have made us grow, and so it is important to feel that, but not to hang on to it, not to blame yourself from having that feeling or whatever. Just pass through it, and then pray for the resolution. Ask for resolution. For there is, in many ways, we have to have trust in the process of life. For there is a greater process that is going on within life that is beyond anyone's understanding. We have to move from theories into certainties, from faith into certainties. Faith is very powerful, for it will help us, but we have to move from hypothesis to certainties. We have to verify things, to know. The most important things to know is that you're always loved, you're always supported, you're always surrounded by the light, love, and wisdom and power of God. For all those things are part of the process. It is the invisible aspect, and that is covered up by all those layers of ignorance that we have we have been cultivating, for we have to follow the direction of our soul, and whatever our soul wants to move forward is what we have to trust. That brings me to the discussion of, I wanted to discuss very briefly two major philosophers from the pre-Socratic era, 6th century BC. One of them is Heraclitus, the man who was crying, and Democritus, the man who was laughing. One of them was always crying, the other one was always laughing. Heraclitus was crying because he saw that men around him were so stupid, and that made him cry all the time. When Democritus thought that everything was random, he took nothing seriously, and so he could laugh of everything. In many sense, I thought to be able to laugh of all things, like Maitreya, the ascended master, the master guide of Buddha. Maitreya is also the philosophy of laughing. Laughter is the greatest of all. It brings joy. It brings, so just laugh. The more you can laugh, the better you'll be. And so Heraclitus discovered some essential things that been submerged by now, but he discovered that all life comes from fire, from the sacred fire of the soul. All life is one and will eternally be one and indivisible one. And yet within that one, all those things that have identity are in perpetual change, perpetual transformation. For he discovered that. So it is very essential, and Democritus made another discovery that was very essential. He discovered the atoms. What he calls atom is not what we call atom. He discovered within his understanding, his intuition, that the world was made of a singular particle. Everything was built from that particle, and which we call atom, which it means indivisible. And those particles really exist, but we haven't discovered them. They're called ultimatons. Ultimatons are the constitutive matter of electrons. It takes 100 ultimatons to make one electron, and those ultimatons are not really dividable. They move into energies. If you go beyond that, you move into a stage of energy, and so we'll discover that atoms are made of particles. Particles are made of smaller particles, and so this will come into. We'll have to study all that to re-understand those meta-sciences, meta-quantic, meta-atomic sciences. Another philosopher that was very interesting in the 3rd century was Parmenides. He was able to discover the exact periphery, the exact dimension of the Earth at the 6th century BC, and he took up to the 20th century, not 21st, but 20th century, to be able to verify his equation, and he was quite right in relationship to his calculation. We got to come to understand that everything is by design. The whole program of life, evolution, everything has been created for a reason. The reason is evolution. So understand, know yourself, know your God, know your source, and move into the satisfaction of love and joy in the connection within that source. For everything else is a distraction, but it is not futile. However, it is here. All of the circumstances of life are sometimes difficult, sometimes easy, sometimes beautiful, sometimes ugly, sometimes heavy, sometimes light. They are here to build character, to determine the choice. We are unable to see beyond the choice we have not made, so we have to make those choices. And in order to do that, to free our will, to be free will, to use our will to be free. And so it is about building character and stamina, the ability to persevere through time, no matter how much the resistance. For everything is in resistance of that process of ascension. For wisdom is really what we seek, freedom, wisdom. We are seeking that, and this wisdom is usually the means by which to attain any goal with the minimum efforts. For that is true wisdom, but the wisdom is not exhaustible. There is always higher level of wisdom that can be discovered. And so this is still, it's still to me, religion is to philosophy what religion is to spirituality, what philosophy is to wisdom. I mean, religion leads to spirituality, philosophy leads to wisdom, but spirituality trumps religion as wisdom trumps philosophy. So in many sense, you have to know how that you can rely on your inner self, your inner guidance, for it is very, very difficult and delicate, for we do not always, we sometimes have doubts about ourselves, about this inner process in relationship to what everybody else is saying. The reason for that is that we've been sleepwalker for many aeons of time. We're like halfway asleep, halfway awake, and life is just passing like a flow, and we're like a semi-contemplative observer, but we have very, very little power over what's going on. accept the freedom to live within our own make-believe life, for we all are creating this imaginary world, and we all live within this imaginary world. As we awaken, we realize that this is really what we want to live, and so this imaginary world becomes the reality as we believe in it. Also, when we develop serenity, we move into what's called the supraconscious of illumination. For the Buddha discovered that for his intuition, what the supraconscious of illumination is to realize you are made of light. As we realize that your true self and essence is made of light, your light body becomes a manifest. And the supraconscious of illumination is to the immortal, or to the initiate, what intuition is to mortal beings, or to what instinct is to animal, or tropism is to plant. So it is all part of a natural process of growth and evolution within but now it's an unprecedented opportunity. This generation, this time, this century is really an unprecedented opportunity for all of humanity to move beyond the duality of the physical realm, of the dualized realm, to move back into the sphere of love, light, and unity. For those who, many people will not make that choice, they will be given another opportunity within about 700,000 years. They will have many other lives in duality if they do not choose it, but it is their own free will, let's just say. So it is important that we make our choice, because whatever choice we make will determine what the future will become. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I just wanted to pass by and ask that God may bless you, but may connect your light into this eternal light of His, so that we may all enjoy this reality together as we move into a collective realization of that glorious light, this glorious potential of living within a sphere of eternal joy. We create this reality collectively, and then it will snowball and create greater impact on the unconscious level, and the rest of humanity and the planet will participate more actively into this process of integration of higher frequencies. I'm going to sing a little song. It's a French song originally, but the French words were not really to my... it's a bit too intense for me, so I decided I'll sing it in English. It's a song of Jacques Brel originally. It was translated by Rod McCurran. It's called If You Go Away. If you go away on this summer day, then you might as well take the sun away. All the birds that flew in the summer sky, when our love was new and our hearts were high, and the day was young and the nights were long, and the moon stood still for the night bird's song. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away, but if you stay, I'll make you a day like no day has been or will be again. We'll sail the sun, we'll ride on the rain, we'll talk to the trees and fly with the wind. But if you go away when I love you so, there'll be nothing left in this world, you know. Just an empty room, full of empty space, like the empty look I see on your face. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. But if you stay, I'll make you a day like no day has been or will be again. We'll sail the sun, we'll ride on the rain, we'll talk to the trees and fly with the wind. But if you go away, if you go away, please don't go away. Well, thank you very much for everything, for sharing, liking, commenting if you like. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.